Could you tell me a little bit about why now for a Ned unaccompanied solo record? It's been a while since you put something out as a solo project, and I'm curious what made the moment right.
I think, in fact, it was overdue. I mean, solo has been a significant area of my work since the early 80s. It was actually a key element in kind of creating my musical voice. I came to New York at the end of the 70s. I had a group, Bob Ostertag and Jim Katzen, called Fall Mountain, from which I came from Oberlin Conservatory to New York. We had some success, but for reasons that had nothing to do with problems in the group, health problems, and Bob wanting to move on into politics at that point, the group disbanded, and I was left at that time with choices between kind of commercial work, which I pursued, but also like, well, what was I going to do? And I did a very intensive period of solo practice and made my first solo record in 1981. So there were three of them between 81 and 85. And in that period, I toured Europe. The first tour I did in Europe was with Anthony Braxton in 78. And then I went a couple times with Fall Mountain. But after that, I had quite a flurry of work in the solo context from 81 to 85, put out 3 LPs at that time. And over the next however many years, there have been a number of solo records and solo tours. And yes, like one of my mentors, Evan Parker, I think it's pretty parallel in terms of, although he's a pure improviser and the Catholic British school of I only play open improvisation, whereas my work is mixed. I mean, I've done all kinds of things, but the role of solo playing in our overall oeuvre, I think, is pretty parallel in that there's a development of a personal musical language which starts from the solo context, because in the solo context, you can use all sorts of timbres and sounds that wouldn't necessarily cut through if you had, say, a drummer playing with you or any kind of large ensemble. And of course, there have been intimate chamber settings where I can use this language as well, because the people I'm choosing to play with have a transparent enough focus that we can each use this kind of language. And there's been various things going on since 2013, I guess, when I did the last record for John Zorn's label, Sadic. So yeah, I thought it was overdue. Yeah, so maybe the exactly right time might have been a few years earlier, but I better late than never.